Bremo ato ye mamunyina hama makwaba ediba UTV so ebraso so memu nsima odwa yensaka ya boabo no ye de eba ebesomo na eye this way chocolate drink cocoa papa bi anomde ne ye de ya unya binum a enya asem ketwa na wabobo agubu a waye pintin uni obi ani asem ye was special ice mineral water any special drinks awodo ni nyina ewo dwomo a ehon so no betimi akwakoto bi anom ye wa best point savings and loans and the best assurance omo ene adwumaku a enne omobo mechidom na nsam no de adimu akotene no ebi ene se osoafo hwe akwantuo so si omo ene ahyenkafo ku awodo no egusu omo kasa hwe kwampon befa so a ombete ahyentiade bo no eso Dr. Kofi Kunedu apreku ade ato abanyanim se ye de ehia ansa ne ye de fata ebre womwei se cathedral na sa asoridan no ye nsi anyankopon enya de selibu ebefu ye de ani beche asanti krom adehye won so akasa chem se niema eboa ma asetena etumpon ne koye no muni bi enu ti aban emra meyo momwa ensam no ebika ho ena mede ba besomo midin ede akua ede wa akode afi ensam no enchiremu enie Oswafo no ene hwe akwantuo so eyo nmunyamfo kwesi ofori esiama okomrahye bedwam no kaside to dwa chire mu se enokre ye hwe fango bo no abafom panti etwa fatase ahyentiade no ebafom sadia Ghana fo bi eka no omuguso omo ne ahyenkafo ku ahodo no ekasa ahwese won betimi ateso na emomu no yenka hunu se enye fango bo no nko a ene ye de to lorry fare no emu.
We have sat down with the transport operators. We are doing our final meeting. We need to go through some processes to make sure that the market survey that is done justify the decision that we are going to take. We've gone through the processes. We are meeting again tomorrow to come, but I can assure them, the majority should feel that definitely the transport operators will do something about it. I think that in terms of difficulty, they've been with us, and I'm sure that they will not be disappointed this time. They will indeed come out and do some reduction in terms of transport fare.
I've seen that metro mass have been mentioned very briefly, but as the minister may be aware, their challenges are very enormous. They are virtually running out of buses. What is the situation there? Because the report in the paragraph 9.10 just perpetually mentioned them in passing. The Speaker, with this comment, I hope that the House will approve this estimate and get the ministry running. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
We've often lamented about the skyrocketing price of petrol, diesel in this country. And, Speaker, I must commend the government that recent times we read and we see consistent reduction in the price, export price of these products. And it's gratifying that the dollar is also struggling to contain the strength of the cedi. These are all good times. However, I am not too happy when the price of the export price of these products are going down, and yet transport operators fail. I see my good friend, the minister, smiling. Transport operators don't pay a heed to this consistent reduction in the price of such products. I think going forward, we must have an arrangement to deal with this concern.
Na sasa mwesenti ye kwa ahomane so ne ene owura ya oberima edi enkomo no eye kasamafo edi machenkafo kwa ni din ye True Drivers Union eja mahai
ye ne obapa
ye nim se eja nyame adom fango bo abafom na ade na hyenti ade mu pese mo bete so amaye
yo ba ye na wasene enchia ono ahwe school nyina
ahwe for juice
adrava for trimu nya din wo my Ghana ha na Enumwa yene omampanyini eto no 22nd October 2022 no. Enye nwasa ene yesa wa abonten no. Eba chaw abra yeshi Ghana mampanyini wo Jubilee House no. Ne yeto diesel 15 cedis 99 pesos. Na yeto eye super no, de ye nyina nim se petrol no. Ne yeto ne 13 cedis eye 10 pesos per liter. Eno na UTV vedi adansi a akuya ye kafa mo fidie isu se ahyenkafo pe wa mu nchichemu aduanan 40% transport fare increase. Pajo so kai asem no.
Ai.
Eno mampanyini gina oman nenemu pa ahyenkafo a chew se woni na ban be ye nhyehyeye a reduce fuel na ba down. Nemu ma driver fo ye nkwaji wa mu nchichemu dunkro 19%. Asembusa ne se enne fuel no diesel no is less than 15 cedis now. Petrol no is less than 13 cedis now. The answer is no. Anything so obi we are what there. Now odi na chi kromfo July awie no ati magina ade na maria ni ndie mama obi afa bi ampa aja wa ya papa.
Na unim say oswafo no na hwe akwantuo so ese omo enimo bekasa. Na se ba se ma pre be hye ma mo mate so mate.
If I join ne wato nza frɛ ya yɛkɔ na wontimi nhye sɛ wo hye kete sɛ ka ne nya aban dia aban wo medromas ɛno wo so tumi wo ɛyɛ ayalolo ɛno kwa de amachi ya chimoto new station apagi guo aban ntimi ntofu ɛ tai ajo ontimi mpompe budget ebu aban yahu ontimi nya wo hwe eni nti so wo wa hye kete sɛ yɛntete ahyɛnti aboɔ so on price ne mra bonte ne nkɔgye onim prayer yɛdɛn
ebra fango no yɛtu mu no na awɔtwe mutumutum bɛ miensa mefa eya beka junction eko La Paz enye mfato na yeji 2 cedis 80 pesos se se omo eji 4 cedis 20 pesos enti na
pokra san de ka wo ho
mo amuna de moka
mo square mo san de ka because ye ka say from a year 8 cedis to 15 cedis no na 40% ni yesi ye
na 40% ni yesere mo 40% no anya adwuma de ye adwuma no eye 19% na ye adwuma mode baye but anu crop no musa tutu mu we chiechire nkaka akra bia percentage na ama abondene
enti asembusa ni say adenti na de ni aban kwatena as mu mfa aban musa sa asem na driver for ka say 40% na ye de CAJ ni sawo 15 cities pen so a and then ejina 18 cities de 23 ne kwa ye nko ba bia kodu ye nko biem and then ejina 18 cities no and our driver for side 2 man no come be dey
say ene fango ne bo na abafom
me ba cha abafom a ababuru eye 15 cities na mo fa tu mu TV so na Ghana fo nyina nhwe petrol na baburu eye 13 cities na aban timi nhye ye kete enka nkyere ye say yen ti ye lollipop so ye godu filling station so a ye ni anu wo ho automatic adjustment formula no abaya ma na anya adwuma eni ti na ye hu de ye hu yi enti na ye bekọ akwakosi aban si ekọ na aban si price say na kuta no de ama eni ye hwe na say nso a me pa cho ye anya sika ntofu wala ye ba UTV a mo ba boy abosi am ye de akoto ta de ti ni e ka si a aban so ntimi machi obia ana aban be ka se na adroma fo ankwa adwuma nti ye mfa bia na ifo nkwedi o machi
oh there be say emra na be ye adwuma
mummy nyina ye hwe ne kan yie because ye nneema na ye didi dwuma no aban na nim say nya fango no nkwa na ye didi dwuma ye kwa omuka ba bi economy no ne bobre ejina ye hwe no ye hwe eye insurance ye hwe DVL service charge eno pa ho a spare part ye hwe ye mu say ye ho say en spare part bo no ya te so na so mo say kan no mo say dollar cedi rate dollar na ba from mabusa go so kan for so ma tete mo ne ma so
ya we ye fe yanko matwetwe ni sina bibisa se ene money minister no ekwa akohie mu no percentage dudu asai na mo pe no senke ba se mo te so a
me pa cho usu minya ba bi gina me peja asase ni gina so ye gina kwa ase ye nte so na da ne ba percentage metuga
etimu de mo nte so ba bi agina na gina
ye ko na sa ban de ni nchechire mu ba na wu hia se adrava for ye gu niema mu kakra why not e betu sa na mo na mom si akona si yatisu na enye yi a eno de ba be pa Ghana fo a che say we are sorry yentimi nya wo hwema na enye yi
yate oshenkani ne yene na kasa no ono na ye kasa mafo ede ema ashenkafo ko edi True Drivers Union Oraya Berima ene se ahyenti ade ebo ne de percentage mo pekro bo ne nya no munya ye enti omo koye meeting ne de besie no eno begina so etu anamo na ye ko mrahye mu biem na osoafo ohwe akwantuo so onimonyafo akwasi ofori asia ma eda so jare nan so sabre ni mo no mo bobo budget ne ho ane de begia tumaboa ama ahye no akọ animu ye na no ne ebisa no sanye bia no dabai ene kumase boankra eye inland port mpenifoɔ betimi aye na ɔmawi ate ɔmo nsa afiri ho ɛna ɔsi ɔmo hwɛ no mu sɛ 2024 de na ɔma ye bibia awie na ɔhamu nkyemu bɛyɛ aduɔwɔtwe eye 80% afiwe no enko awie na kyerɛ sɛ December bosom ne 31st mrade ne aye bibia awie kamakama.
For supporting our estimate. In doing so, try to clarify some few issues. Mr. Speaker, in relation to the Bonkra Inland Port project, we have said, and I think that at the committee level, I made it known to them, that our estimate, we are supposed to reach 80% of construction by the end of 2023, and by the middle of 2024, this project will be completed. And I want the record to be stated, because the minority chief stated that I think in the report, they made a mistake by saying that the construction will be completed in 2023. We have said at the committee that we reach 80% construction period at the end of 2023. And by the middle of 2024, this project should be completed. Mr. Speaker, in relationship to the Kita port, I also made it clear to the committee that this is a PPP project that government and private sector is doing. We needed to go through the regime for it to be very viable because we are trying to invite the international community. So what we did was to go through the whole processes, and we have finished the feasibility studies, which came out and said that the project was viable, and that government needed to do certain aspects, while the private sector also does certain aspects. And Mr. Speaker, I made it point out to them that government has made an initial provision of about $5 million for the administrative block. Even yesterday, GPHA, together with the traditional leaders, were in Kita trying to identify a land which indeed they have identified. So I want to assure the House by the first quarter of next year, because we are going through the procurement processes for government to build that administrative burden, which by the first quarter of next year, and I want to be on record, that by the first quarter of next year, we will start the construction of the administrative burden, while the private sector concentrate in the burden of the jetty and the breakwater.
It's interesting to note in the report on paragraph 9.4, page 13, that the Bonkra Integrated Logistics Terminal will be completed in 2023. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure before you came to this house, you knew about the Bonkra, and year in, year out, we've been hearing one story from the other. And even before I came to this house, the administrative block was built in the bush. And if the minister is saying that 2023, we should see the completion of this very important and strategic terminal, it should be a welcoming one. But Mr. Speaker, I want this house to take it as an assurance from the minister, so that come 2023, if it's not done, he will be a candidate for government assurance committee.
Bonkra Inland Port is seeing the light of day. Speaker, the risks of being repetitive, we all know the history, and as the lamentation shown by my colleague, Chief Whip, I have personally been to the site, and I must commend the minister and his outfit for the aggressive nature with which they've attended to the construction. I think it gives me a lot of hope that indeed they are not just scrapping the surface, but indeed there's a real construction work that is ongoing. I want to urge the minister to stay on course and to ensure that it's completed. Perusing the report, I find landing sites and fishing ports also gaining the attention of the ministry. All of us are aware of the narrative in terms of this subject matter. I want to urge my good friend, the minister, that it should not just remain in whispers and remain as a matter that is just being mentioned in discussion. We want to feel it. Landing sites and fishing ports are so important to our economy, and he must put finality to this matter once and for all.
sika yɛtwa ade ama asɔyɛ ahodoɔ no ɛwɔ budget ni mo de bɛbɔ bra ɛwɔ mfempim mienu ɛne aduonu miɛnsa no mmarahyɛbadwafoɔ no ahyase bobo ho ɛgye atom enti ɛnura ɛnam so ɛma akyimso aduro mmarahyɛbadwani a wɔno ɛna yɛ dwomtsani ma abedwekɔ mu hwɛ akwan ne akwantempɔ so ɛprɛtu mu yɛ no sɛ bɛyɛ ankempanifoɔ nhwɛ na ka sika yɛtwa ade ama asɔyɛ no mo nyintum ampa obi akyerɛ na adwene ɛnam so mo nyina da adwene kɔ benkrom yɛ no sɛ sika 5.2 billion Ghana cedis ɛna yɛtwa Yadima Asuye Shakwani Quantimpo, so Nuntino, Mashibja for Aji Atum.
Honorable House approved the sum of 5,295,339,626 cedis for the services of the Ministry of Roads and Highways for the year ending 31st December 2023. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, road infrastructure is very key, and we are all aware. Everybody calling for road, everybody wanting road to be constructed. The only way that we can, about 80% of the money that we get for the road fund, it goes into direct road infrastructure work. And if they cap it now creates problem for the ministry because that is the money that they have to even use some for remedial maintenance and other things. So, Mr. Speaker, the purpose of the fund is to use the money to work on our roads, and therefore it is important that even if we want to cap it, it will not be that because we in this house we have passed a law to cap it. But we should find a way that this sector is very critical, and therefore we cannot cap the road fund to the detriment of the ministry, whereby they find it difficult to even get money to pay the contractors. So we are urging the finance minister to look at how he has been capping the fund that goes to the road fund, which is being used to pay road contractors. Because if you want the road contractors to do the work, then we need to ensure that we don't cap it excessively, which will create a lot of problem for the ministry. I am recommending to the House for the approval of an amount of 5,295,355,626 Ghana cedi for the activities of the Ministry of Roads and Highway for the financial year ending 31st December 2023. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully submit. Thank you.
That access to durable quality roads remains a challenge in my constituency, in Bekwai and in many other constituencies that are crying for attention for work that have commenced to be completed. Mr. Speaker, ordinarily, I should be asking for us to set aside this report and not proceed to approve it. I hope that the Minister for Roads will be at idem with me. Mr. Speaker, this report should be approved only when the Minister for Finance comes to assure us that road fund will no longer be capped. That should be the position of this House. He should come to this House that will only approve your budget on condition that he liberalizes and gives you freedom to have access to your road fund. In principle, I'm all for the expansion of road infrastructure in Ghana. I'm all for adequate resources for the road sector, but I'm not for capping of road fund. And the Minister for Finance must decap the road fund. So I'm supporting this on condition that I'm assured that the road fund will not be capped, as was observed by the chairman for the Committee on Education. Now, Speaker, with these words, I support the motion. But, Minister, road contractors are crying across the country. And many of them may even die, Mr. Speaker, because they can't bear the interest cost or money they have borrowed to construct the road. Then, Minister, finally, this one is for your attention. Contractors are not happy with you about some declassification you are doing, that you have given a fiat as to which contractor qualifies to have a renewal of his license or his certificate. Minister, open it up. There are many people, whether they are cutting grasses or they are what level of the road, that is their source of livelihood. They pride themselves, Mr. Speaker, in calling themselves contractors. But Minister, we hear you have introduced some classification or declassification. Contractors are not happy with you, and I urge you to go and review that decision and liberalize that sector for those who want to be in that particular sector.
Onmanyafo Mavis ekwiha wakumsin wano na yoswafo wahwe afarefo ani nsumunam sensem so na enum obi ene okotem akohwe ye masuhye mabeye enson etu anamo free Ghana ha ede omani eche ye po ahodo no so mokoyinam nyame adomomoko aba beduru entienei wadnani akwa sanynyem bia no adwuma no mokoye ye ene fish ahodo mokoye de ye momokwan so munyi ana na sei ene adwumade ni koye
Onmanyafo Mavis ha wakumsin kasaye mu no ena wochiri mu a busumi etwa mu ena mpinfo ma ho kwan ma subuntu akese bako enson etisi poso se enkone nkoyi na mofambra na mpinfo nhwe hunu mmoa obetimi de aboa se na be na nsumunam dwumadie ewo maga na mobetimi afa na ntoma pa edifra na subuntu enson ekoye ya fei ena bako ababeduru na bako ebaaye no onmanyafo no boana kokohweye se kwantu ekoye no bibia ekoyie anase ankoyie o chere nsemusei.
So far so good. Make me aka say I be 98% to my satisfactory. Yeah, you need observe na kasa. Omo you need omo I impressed, and I believe say if we continue this way, you bet to me I rebuild all the depleted fish stock now. Yes, soon on my Ghana no. I know they say you can say fish in Newcroom, but then it doesn't also stop us from doing the right thing. Yeah, the right thing as a fish, you know, spawning more. Market, nsuo no more. Omo kwa omo beche the aba. Ama yesu suenya enough fish. Market. Na ye to me I send yes and 76 vessels. 76 and yeah, can say 7 they call last month no, and their baku is ready to move. Or China so back because we're going to say 9 out of the 76. And yet, Ministry of Fisheries and one more that ministerial directors, you know, Ghana Maritime Authorities also knew or more other things that was on their vessels. Vessel, the baby or home are worn out and they have to repair it. Almost safety is very important, and so they are taking all these things into consideration. So as and when they are done, no, then GMA. Ebema or certificate, then they come to fisheries. Now yes, we are a process, then we give them the license to go for the fishing. More corner, my catcher almost almost say, yeah, Baba pre-departure inspection. Now, my bounce na yes, I'm fishing now, Abano. So, omoche and size fish, the law will catch them. And now, omo canoe, no so no, yeah, catcher omo. Say, sebi, trawler phone in you no so. Yeah, ministry no so amomo approve fishing nets or mufanye adwuma. Na ebinom da so the air chemicals and lights air adwuma. Very soon we'll come after them.
A form a good year to Ghana has sent a yatuni dini ewa putoka samse galamse noa enya papano. And no name 24 akasadi afound se edua hauke se brave say a dro eka ho ebra ye who gold no enya ne yepe edi efrimo. Edi amansanka muko ne fa ehwe atena ni pafa hudie so ana musini edi atudwa chechiri mu se Ghana has sent yatena yendi ni enipa fa hudie so enko yenti yenhwe ne ye anyesa edua hawo ebebre benyensunsan so bone so ewe ye nipadua so.
Jumedia ho do yidu no maga na mu ebiti se foma gudie tu ena fe rubber na se plastic etutugu monten so basa no embo ma hundie hu nsem mfa ne to mapa emfamfira na bibi ete se foma gudie tu odie awuduro ebiti se sanai na mercury ena dodo na edidi djuma enu ne nyansunsuan so wasase ena fe adasa abrabo eso ne sai so ntino openyina wo tonkra edekoma wiase nka bo ko UN edi atompin fo Ghana nim so onhwe hu ne so de nhye dodo na begu apono so se ne be na ewuduro wonsunsuan so wasase na fe adasa abrabo so a o magana mu yeyu no basa no obetumi apa no pomasi bre Marcus Orellana de sansana tudwa wabra ne dwumadi obabedi o magana mu nyina no no de nyina ebewieye.
The government of Ghana should not delay taking the steps necessary to address the adverse impacts of galamsey, hazardous pesticides, e-waste and plastics. For example, the state should prohibit the import and use of hazardous pesticides that are banned or restricted in their countries of origin. Many communities in Ghana are suffering from exposure to toxic substances. One of the main concerns is the lack of effective enforcement of environmental legislation. There is a need for greater articulation between governmental institutions under the normative framework of human rights, as well as a greater availability of governmental institutions to the population. There is an urgent need for Ghana to respect and guarantee the free and full exercise of human rights in the face of the threats posed by toxic substances in the country.
Nanu akyere no na sentwerefo ankabomukuo opanyina wode wona no se president Owura Albert Kwabena Dwumfo ono so kasa no wo kyirema sentwerefo aye krado wona wo yusu no bone kwa bone so e won sunsuanso bone e wasase e na afi adasa abrabom no obepa wo nyina ho entoma.
We are committed to working with the UN Special Rapporteur on Toxics and Human Rights and his team to ensure our people's safety by removing toxic substances from affected communities. Our job as journalists is straightforward. We must identify and report on activities that produce toxic substances in communities. We will continue to educate citizens on how to identify and report companies or individuals whose activities emit toxic substances into the environment.
Enipa be ahenum ene aduanan mienu 542 omoye adwuma ewo birth and death registry anankomo civil service dwumedie no ase anase ekuo no ase no empenifo aya mamre ne amane ayiwomo e de akọ local government service na bra dwumedie no ekoso no so afa be de akira wo hwe nkron ketua ne kwase mpuntuo so no manyafo obi amoa ekasai say.
In accordance with the Act, that is 1027, in line with Section 79 of the Local Governance Act, 2016, Act 936, which stipulates that the departments of the District Assembly shall have staff that may be necessary for the proper and effective performance of their functions. The official sitting of ceremony, which is being held today, at which the head of civil service will hand over data on all affected staff to the head of local government service to demonstrate the commitment of government to comply with the Act and to deepen local governance and decentralization in Ghana. We are assembled here. This ceremony is also in fulfillment of the constitutional mandate that functions, powers, responsibilities, and resources are at all times transferred from the central government to local government units in a coordinated manner.
And then I said there, at that lower level, no, you go to my although registrar could say na or be signed, but in show there at that lower level, the penny being order to make sure that yen on primary register was signed so that in the no well mean on here the motor America the Rebankran, my baby said, a wara, what documents, also your passports, what documents, why no why, what bankran, my passport director, another registrar, birth and death was signed on Bama Wabwa planning, on Boba Wabwa, Hinankasa use of our resources, budgeting in all, on and then the Yababe ceremonially. Nana, the head of civil service, will transfer staff as our local government service.
It is expected that the offices of the heads of civil and local government services would render the needed support to the national and regional offices of the registry to efficiently perform their functions, as clearly stated in the Registration of Birth and Death Act 2020, Act 1027. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today, a total of 542 of our staff are being transferred from the civil service to the local government service. We are confident this great institutional arrangement could only lead to enhanced capacity to attain universal birth and death registration and address the growing demands of the registry.
Yadi ani chere asante mantemu baby etese atwuma mponnwa mansuni meho ena ama badu DA basic school no ewo na maami a wode school no ano ene UTV edi enkomo abepa kire mu se etebia school no ewo mu no ani to areho ento mu hia mo afri ankrankre aban ene ekoku awodo no wanya sada chinchiri mai baby omutisua de no edin.
Madam Evelyn Bridget Prempe wono na eye headmistress awada amabadu DA basic school ano ewo atwuma mponua kropon mu na wode to aso to just say enkwada ne bebre ya ebepe school mu kwan ma wo mu wo ba mu ani chebi no wonum gyaye efri se wonum hyeda ni school adan a wo ho no mu nyina sunsum fidie de bepa ya pai de bebuo de bechia enti awia ehya ase se ebo enkwada hudwa wo mu ensuo mu na kire se ya pon school no no enkwada yiti dem a yesua de obehwe na emponchi ne nwan e de pombebe ne yetwam ye gye nan gu ho na nipa nso begya wonum nan edinti ade ache bia nkodai wonum ete nkrofo gya nan ansa na wasan akotena edan ya sunsum fidie mu ede asua de na se awowo ene mu nkotere de wom ne nkodai edi kokko e was school dem ho enno na mami ede adesere eto aseye hwe ngumasua so ene mu ankrankran ne wonum odum ankoma hyeda to wonum nsam se anye bia dampo miensa obi esibi ede masku ya onum gidi yese ebeye nika mankoda no ene agi school ba ho na ebeboa adekere so ene adesua
yedan ya yetimo no enye esanse otu ani crash class 2 ne class 3 seni esi wona obi fi ekwana classroom ne wo enti se wo tra dia emusie ena nkwan kra concentration ekode maame na wo ye na duane no eye ne so etoda beba no na se bi enyan anene agu classrooms no enti wo se ye gyan ne prapa na ye huhu ho nyina ma ne wo ansa no motimi ayeden asia ade ena so obi kura etwam kura na bra teacher ni chade a na nkoni nyina attention ekowo enti basa omo concentration no ewo form enso ta se ye gyan ne aba be hye edan ni sanso ya na to bed from akese ena ya na eba enso ta ye free apatani enti yesa ban se enkomeye ya dom omeye ye moa etinye twa blocks egu omecheshe adampon bensia bi maye so bi so tie ye na so betimi aba be so yasne aye bibi aboa ya kieni bejepa
awofo bi a wonomma ewo amabadu school yimu ene UTV kase atwetwe enkomo na wonoma desire ni
amabadu school ha ya be so school na eni da bia wa ha ya na edi papa kakaka saa ne edi ya kakaka kiti afọ nso mbombo nipa na mutumi kiade nkanya saa de nka school nka umafu wa nkura nso doso nseto nkura no munya ba bi kura ntena tete fa muti ye nse ehiamwa
ye mesre ne se atmamponwa amabadu krum ehiamwa ye msuku da no ento yi tete nso to a enye yi ebi ebo a ye hu be bia mfa semester se DC MP NDC MPP wo bibia no wo se ye man ne e da ati dia tie ne ye ade aso nkwa na sene
Ashaman ewo nkrankwenti heya na baby a lorry station wono ne mu ahyenkafo nei omudi ato UTV anim ese GPRTU eno ye ahyenkafo ko kese wo Ghana ha sei no asadi omo eno omudi kwano no omusi ebeye infringe aduasa 30 years ni obi akahyen ewo Ashaman station wo mo yenji no enkakuo no nanso nei wono omoton niema wo station wo ne yage omo aka ho a yama bi krampo sika omudi ye adwuma omusi we de sebi mpenifo animu a eye kwase ebu.
Your problem is your penny for no your mobile driver over 30 years, 35, 40 years. Ya chura for membership card or my card. Yeah, or my card. Secondly, so no, or more cash bebre. Nini na running priority. Your drivers, you know, you're no matter from say ya. You bet you may pack your car about one month and 1 week. 1 month 1 week ni nyina no driver ni ya okita obika onya one load kra nko ama enya one cd kra ni oni ni yire ni ma be kwa didi ofie na ye penyifo no executive no omo cast no kwa na eye adwuma omo koba no ma be load ko omo koba no ba load ko na wo watu ka ko ye nya ba bia nko ni nyina chi no ye drivers no bi no kra ye pa mo free station se omo ma mo load when the money ASCC pa etina bra ya demonstration no
mpenfo ni mu ye ne fa moto esu na bibia ye kra nse o ma this year we road safety for be campaign akire ye drive for ye drive o ma ma nkwa nkotie no mko fa nkokura for mo drive biom o mo drive biom station ye ni mo mpo ena wa go say ma ebegu onu na si ye elodu asham to sek ye fa moto we na road safety for be ka bibia akire ne etia ma go say o mo an na ye drive for na be fa ye be de hu sa de it is ama ye hu na ye mpeni for so mo ti on so o mo drive na ye so o mo nya member no wa go for o mo yiri ni o mo ma na wa ye mo member na o mo go office wo no it is ya no ye pese office no ye drive for na ye twa booking fee ya yang so no ye be pay selected for na aji booking fee no ye no nya djuma biom
meeting na ma fred members be amu frey drivers no meeting ade a ha ye no amu ma ye nka se se no o ma no so emu aye de fu ebu aye de se aba iti fu asu anka say etimi ye fair no su kakra but because of booking fee amu ji wo ye ho no eno so anu ye de eti se ye ji station e se anu ama si ya che se ye ji station in office now say ye ji station the drivers ye ji station
say we need union no members no a bibi e kwaso union bia no untumi kan wasem ana fe so we need benefit bia wo na so yenso ne yakoba ansa na wo ma ye den wo manya wo musika eti beye breka krani ya tuwa na mo a esini nyina ensiaga aniti yehu ne ekono a na chese awase ye de na esiwem aniti ubehu se ya chiese a ne ekoso no nti na enne yesi ya tintos kokko e de agufam ne won hu se ye ni abere
ya twini krom ni Asante krom ni nada ewo Jama North Mesim ewo Bono Mantem nim na UTV adehye ni bi ene yakasa enkankan ni apomuden adwumayefo ni akyerkyerefo no se enema eboa ma asetena yeyie na ekoyie na eyefo no mu eni bi etisi ye de obi ko so nkonkoye adwuma edene pa mejina baabi na mekasa te se telecommunication se network no enye na afen so mu ni ICT nti ama apomuden wo senkaye no enkoyie omo srempenifo so mu twomani emehwe nkruto mieni
ye kan network asem de ye how kesepa se sian bibia ebe bia ye network me check insurance card se ewu na ye adwuma kra network ya na ebe ye adwuma eto da bi kra na network no betimi ate akobese na wotwe kra na emaye eba ne sa na emaye adwuma no ye de emaye agese mesoa claims na nasa yarefo na mahwe omo mesoa insurance card ni nyina de ko asuoko na babia menya network ansana matimi akocheke ahwe obi o kura na meka se network ni wontimintimi nka se menhwe ne yare no se mehwe no mawie na mekwa akọbọ ahwe na insurance nso awu ebia na nipa no nso wonya ahomboa se ebia wo ska bia ode betua ne ndroka eba ne sa na akoye ka ntimestre se network de ade a eye ade hia power ha se mutimi ba ye moasa na ebeboa ye pa
ne bibia ye computer nti wo hwe nkura no bibi wo kura na se omuni access to laptop and access computer na se teacher ni no smartphone na se network ni ya juma bibi obetima browser na bibi ay fast ama nkura na hu ade omunya hu be no so wo hwe community ha network no wo top baby kakra bi na network no wo nti se wanko ho a sa ata baby a top na ay soro ho na network no wo no honye classroom nti classroom so na ewo form hai nti se enya network na ye kira de kora na bebi we say ye very simple anka ye be use smartphone na ye de ablaza man kora no ade omunya access to no na nkomo ya na eba sa na de se uja sa bebe no na aye bibi foforo nti ha adwen ewo ha nti teachers omo ha kora na fa network sem ni nti no se information efa teacher bi data ewo office kora na through network no office omo se omo foro munyaye na so bibia omo nkyerelete se ye kyerelete ye de abrawo school bibia ye through network mo platform social media platform ana say nti e basa obehu na da bia no omo wo ba bia access to network no na omo adikan na ya ye wo ha no na e ha adwen
ye di network data ni ha nti se obi pese ofre wo kora wa nkofuru dua amfre wa busia wo kuroma wo bia ntumo mfre wo na ne emre pa digitalism ya bai na yaso ye ni network nti wo ye
nzo pipe nso amaye na yaso ye do so ndi wa nkwanta ma onye de wunya bi aha ndi wa hye ni yeso a biso ana okunu so bi so ne kun ro se ahemachi die na pipe so age aboso Dear Basan, so the problem, there is a little to say here pipe on the silver power, more kakra.
Here network. Pacho, Upeso ya kwa, just a wa free popo kakra kabians and words me akwa ya ko. I feel so crowd, I want to my won't be friend or who say, no why ya na say no one yet. Ntianos we high pa, ya kwa no so yet. Na face to see here street bob.
Before the Shabas body adwumadi atunu din say Ghana Film and Television Crew Awards ade ama wona omutwe sini ewo sini twa adwumako nim ebeboa ahwe omukura ne ahwe omukomudi na omato akoso aye adwuma ne yi na adwumadi no akoso enam so amempinifo akasa se we beboa ama wona kane na omugi yani ewo ye TV ahodo so ene wona omuye adwuma ho no so mani age
Mpinifo apa Ghana Film and Television Crew Awards ho entoma we aya basobo dwumadi a wona wo bo masini ena fe TV so dwumadi ekonkan na emom yenhu o manim enti wondi no safo no de bebo na baso na hye wonkura mu dwumadi nsuso no wa hye mukena na weni ne tosumienu abasobo dwumadi mpinifo ede ba be hyehyɛ so na mpinifo ye ne sei obenim bosumi afie besimu ne de toso adununum na efire ne ukode kokusi efiada obi bia hu ne se wo modem bo aso ani nti wo se fata abasobo no obetumi ede wo nsem ama mpinifo o na befo ntintan internet no eso openina oda basobo dwumadi ya no owura Samuel Jando o kire nsemu sei
go come on our operate come on so put the microphone or the shop for the cost of sound but thank of you TV so and we always acknowledge those we see on TV. We don't see how important those people behind the scenes are and contribute to the production. Recently, GJ Awards, Omo Award, the Best Journalist of the Year, which is Portia Gabo of TV3, and I was watching TV, and the management of TV3 came to award her with I think 2 bedroom and other prizes to it. And unfortunately, the crew that work in that media house to make Portia who she is today was not acknowledged, and I felt sad as the president of Crew Association and as a crew member. Unto me catch Jackie and I say one crowd presenter be say ombe operating camera no one sound that non kind news and I say on active a crew here na bed a be operating camera a be operating sound a be operating vision mission and all those things that comes with TV and film to make TV and film better as we all watching. You know, yeah, it's okay. So be a more mama so dia, yeah, as association, yeah, fancy and answer. Yeah, more mama so. They can't come say money or my juma all over these years, and they need to be acknowledged and celebrated as far as film and television production is concerned. And you know, yeah, far too young also as Crew Association say, per se, yeah, more mama so.
Na nkwakra mu no ye no opinion ba ko yisini o sini twam no tisini twase owura David Donto enso kasai
fakese na yen actors yi ena mu huye na yen actors mu huye no ye de ayese bibi se ye di ba no keke o mo ankasa na ekon okon no a nti e ma mu hu ne mu hu no o mo wechire o mo woyechi a wo mu hu o ye fresh anchor no film crew o mo na hwe kanea ehwe duane ehwe makeup ehwe ntade ehwe transport ehwe directing ehwe nyoma bebre fa ansa na actor na begina ho aye ne obeye ewum na wako na yentai hu ho nti eya esinipa ya ade osai yenyi wo maye fise ye hu na sa awards ya babo na trase na etumi abo mabaso a show mu nkure amo so hu se ejuma mo ye no ejuma ba asese etoto nase
na ye jina we say so ahome abaye ba ye de agudie ba beto aso bongo di fara neba na me ya dumo a me da ne kwasieda ye world cup no di twato no ba so na dwumadie kese bi nso so ekoso e wokaso a enko ba bia so twen ye ba sisi a